Change is inevitable, growth is optional. This quote from John C. Maxwell is incredibly simple, but I think extremely powerful as well. Starting with the first half, I think most people know that change is inevitable, but in the same breath, most people, myself included, try to fight it. For example, think about the tech space, smartphones, smart homes, smart item automations, all sorts of stuff like that. It's very clearly here to stay, and yet, other than early adopters, only recently has most people started to actually accept that change. Change challenges comfort, and people love to be comfy, but we know that this is going to happen. It's inevitable, so we should just embrace it, right? Which brings me to question number 1. How can we all embrace change better? Before I answer that, hey, my name is Ikey. Welcome to my channel. I'm a full-time content creator in New York City. This whole channel is all about making videos and exploring concepts that help everyone become a more well-rounded person, what I like to call high-quality human. Specifically, I talk a lot about personal development, financial literacy, mental health, allyship, anything that can help you become more well-rounded. This video in particular is all about adapting and accepting change. So if you're into this topic or anything along those lines, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more videos coming soon. But for now, let's get back to the video. So I went to my good friend Google and started to search for the answer. I mean, how hard could it be, right? After researching what seemed like 1 million articles, I found some answers, 3 of which I'd love to share with you. The first is all about gathering new perspectives. Change wouldn't be so scary if you had a wealth of knowledge in your tool belt. The more well-rounded you are, the less certain situations are going to affect you. If you set yourself up to always take in new information and new experiences, you'll be well equipped and enjoy the inevitable ups and downs of life. For example, you've probably heard the notion that you should surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. Well, I would love to add that it should be people that are smarter than you, but also that are different from you. AKA, we should seek out people from all different walks of life. So another example, if you are an investment banker and you only hang out with really cool, awesome investment bankers, if a big change comes your way and all you have to lean on is people that are exactly like you, they might react to the situation in the same way and not offer any new perspectives. But if you're close to nurses, doctors, electricians, artists, musicians, scientists, things outside of your normal sphere, it's going to allow you to get their perspectives and their knowledge whenever you need help when a tough change comes your way. Something that your investment buddies may be able to help with, but these new perspectives are going to be a lot broader than what you already are used to. The second tip is to dial in your fight or flight response. Each and every one of us has this inside of us, our fight or flight response. When something changes, that instinct kicks in. You're either going to go on the attack and do everything under the sun to try to counteract whatever is changing, or you'll go with more defensive moves and try to protect yourself as much as possible. And that is where this tip comes in. Try your hardest to create space for calm. We are not fighting for our lives in the wilderness. I think we can, could, and should create space for us to feel our emotions and let them simmer before jumping into an instinctual reaction. You can ask just about anyone, and I think they would all agree that after a long walk, or maybe they go to the gym, or whatever they use to kind of cool off and blow off some steam, they come back calm, cool, and collected, ready to make better decisions than if they had just acted instinctually right when the thing changed. Last but certainly not least, I think we can all lean into the premise and understand the phrase, "this too will pass." You may have heard this phrase before at some point. Maybe you read the book "This Too Will Pass" by psychotherapist Julie Samuel, or maybe you've heard Tom Hanks repeat it over and over again in this roundtable interview.
Wish I had known that this too shall pass. You feel bad right now? You feel pissed off? You feel angry? This too shall pass. You feel great? You feel like you know all the answers. You feel like that everybody finally gets you, and there you are. This too shall pass.
I view this mentality as an optimistic mindset. If you can train your brain to accept that change is actually inevitable, and when you look back, you'll see that you survived and made it through all the crazy changes you thought that you weren't going to make it through, and then you can apply that to whatever you're making it through now. Simply put, it's forming the firm belief that everything is going to be okay in the end. Although I will say it is sort of a paradox. The more you accept that change is going to happen, the more okay you'll be with it when it does. A simple example I go through every single year is when it's the dead of winter, it's ice cold outside, I don't want to leave my apartment, life kind of sucks, and it feels like summer is never going to come. But no matter what is going on, that change is going to happen. No matter how dark or how dim or how crappy the winter gets, summer is always on its way. Obviously, whatever change you're going through is probably not going to be as cut and dry as seasons changing, but if you can instill and understand this principle, then you can too trust that your summer is coming. These tactics or tips or whatever you want to call them are things that I've implemented over the years that have helped me with all the big changes in my life. This includes moving to England by myself, moving to New York City, job hopping, relationships, and of course the big one, COVID. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these tips in the comments and let us know how these things may help you in the future or what kind of big changes you've overcome in the past. Before I end this video, I do want to touch on the second part of that quote. Growth is optional. My favorite part about all these tips is that there's growth built right into each and every one of them. When you surround yourself with new and exciting people, you are going to grow. You're going to learn new perspectives, and that is like one of the best parts about growing. Learning to control your emotions and instincts instead of letting them control you is incredibly important to becoming a more well-rounded person, and also is growth. And lastly, accepting and embracing optimism into your life and knowing that things are going to turn out all right is going to help you in all situations, and you guessed it, will help you grow. So are we all going to be the most calm, cool, and collect people in situations when things are starting to change? No, probably not. But having these tools at the ready at all times in your little tool belt is going to hopefully help you navigate these things a little bit better than you did before. Now I'll leave you with this quote from Jay Shetty to end this video. Change is not something you can avoid and pretend it isn't there. We all need to embrace it and face it head on. But as for usual, stay optimistic, better days are coming. Peace.